to explicitly enshrine abortion rights in the state's constitution can go on the ballot in November. And if passed as prologue, this could spell real trouble for Republicans and Donald Trump. Abortion rights have won in every state where they've appeared on the ballot since the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade in 2022, boosting voter turnout. This all appears to have the twice impeached, 4 times indicted on 88 counts disgraced former president floundering for a response. After the Florida court's decision, Trump announced that his campaign, quote, will be making a statement next week on abortion. But don't let the man who brags about killing Roe fool you. We already know where he stands. Roll the tape.
For 54 years, they were trying to get Roe v. Wade terminated, and I did it. And I'm proud to have done it. Well, I did something that nobody thought was possible. I got rid of Roe v. Wade. And by doing that, it put pro-lifers in a very strong negotiating position.
Do you believe in punishment for abortion? Yes or no, as a principle?
The answer is that there has to be some form of punishment.
For the woman?
Yeah.
Joining me now, Congresswoman Barbara Lee of California, co-chair of the Pro-Choice Caucus. Congresswoman Lee, great to see you. As always, thank you for coming to the Sunday show. So, do you expect to hear anything new from Trump on abortion this week, as he promises?
Absolutely not. No, Jonathan, thank you for having me. Plus, we see what he did and what he said. He appointed Supreme Court justices. He acknowledged the fact that he was responsible for getting rid of a person's right to make their own health care decisions as it relates to their health care, as it relates to abortion. That's what he did. So believe it. Believe him. Believe he did it. And don't believe anything else that he says about this. He is going to move forward, I am confident, and uphold his position, which he has shown us, and that is to end Roe versus Wade.
Mm-hmm. You know, President Biden lost Florida by 3 percentage points in 2020. But with abortion on the ballot there, does he have any chance now to flip the state this November, do you think?
People really have galvanized around these ballot initiatives because they realize throughout the country, especially in red states, that this is about our democracy. This is about our freedom. This is about these right-wing judges and these terrible restrictive abortion bans restricting a person's decisions and ability to exercise bodily autonomy. And so I'm confident that people, not only in Florida, but throughout the country, are going to rally around what is taking place in Florida and make sure that we have a turnout that we have seen in other states that's going to enshrine the right to an abortion into the Constitution and to limit government interference. That is what this is about. It is about our democracy, and it is about our freedom to be able to make our own healthcare decisions.
You know, Congresswoman Lee, you've been so open about your personal pre-Roe abortion story. Can you believe all these years later that women still have to fight for reproductive rights?
It's hard to believe, and this, you know, is really devastating in many respects that the clock is being turned back. Because, yes, I did, Jonathan, have an abortion when I was 15, way before Roe. I had to go to Mexico to get it, and let me tell you, I was terrified, just like now. It was illegal there. It was illegal in Texas. It was illegal in California. It was a back alley, and I was terrified because I thought, one, that I could die, and two, that I could be put in jail, just like now. And so we have got to fight to make sure that we actually, at the federal level, codify the right to an abortion into federal law, and that's the Women's Health Protection Act, which we have fought for and passed a couple of times in the House. And so we cannot allow the clock to be turned back. And I believe that in Florida and these other states, once these initiatives get to the ballot, people will vote to make sure that the government does not interfere with their own health care decisions in terms of a right to have an abortion.
You know, one of your mentors was the late Congresswoman Shirley Chisholm, the first black woman elected to Congress and the first black person ever to run for president. You're portrayed in Regina King's new Netflix movie, Shirley. How did Shirley Chisholm inspire you then? And what do you want young people who may be frustrated with our political system today to know now?
Well, thanks, Jonathan. I knew Shirley Chisholm very well, and she encouraged me. In fact, she made me register to vote. And fast forward to today, I was like so many young people today who didn't believe that the Democratic Party and the Republican Party would represent the views that I had and the needs and the aspirations that as a young single Black woman on public assistance and food stamps, couldn't afford childcare, had to take my children to class with me. I didn't believe that politics would make life better for me, even though I was very aware. I was a community worker with the Black Panther Party. And as the film shows, that Shirley Chisholm really insisted that I had something to contribute, just like now. These young people, I tell you, Jonathan, they're bright. They understand the world in which we live. They have a sense of morality, and they're engaged, but they haven't yet figured out how partisan politics can help shape the world and make their lives better. That's up to us. We've got to include them. I include young people in all of my legislation. They deserve a seat at the table. And that's what Shirley Chisholm provided for me. She gave me a glimpse of what it would mean to be a Black woman who could represent the views and the aspirations of not only Black women and people of color, but everyone, because of our history of struggle, and because we care about making the world better, not only for ourselves, but for everyone. That's the lesson she taught me, and that's the lesson I know these young people will embrace if, in fact, we do our job to connect what is taking place in politics and government to their daily lives.
California Congresswoman Barbara Lee. Oh man, we were just putting up the photo. My favorite photo. There it is. The one of you with the big afro standing next to Shirley Chisholm is just so sweet. Thank you very much, Congresswoman Lee, as always, for coming to the Sunday show. Coming up,
nice.
It's that time again to sound off.